Hey everybody, Real Estate Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk today about their next move. The whole world is waiting for the Federal Reserve to lower their rates. They are waiting for that monetary heroin. That's what's been blowing up this bubble. That's what would keep the bubble blowing up. I've got two stories to share with you. The reason why I put that image on the thumbnail is because those are the CEOs of Citibank, JP Morgan, and Bank of America. We're going to talk about the Federal Reserve. We're going to talk a little bit about gold, but we're talking about interest rates. They're going to severely affect the outcome of an election. They're going to severely affect the outcome of how fast this market correction happens. And I want you to understand it's going to happen. All right, here we go. This is out of Zero Hedge. Hawkish Fed hammers dovish market. Everybody's been waiting for rate cuts. Even gold has been trading in rate cuts. Gold is sitting still at over $2,000 an ounce. How many of you are happy you bought gold when we've been talking about it for the last 3 years? I'd love to hear it down below. Hashtag gold down below if you bought it and you're happy with it. Gold is going to take off once the Fed actually lowers rates, but they're not going to do it right away. I've been saying this for over 2 years. They're going to stay higher for longer. They've always done it. They have always done this to crush the backbone of the American consumer and companies. And then they pick up the pieces for pennies on the dollar. That is my goal for you. My goal for you is that you are going to act like a bank and pick up assets for pennies on the dollar during this crash. There were so many people that were destroyed by 2008. They've now recovered, but they're about to be destroyed again. And that is not my hope for you. That's why I started this channel. The reason why I put those three people on, the CEOs of those three banks, is they own the Federal Reserve. Still, to this day, very few people understand that. It's a private bank, and they loan money out at interest. They make it out of thin air. It's a Ponzi scheme. The Ponzi scheme is going to go on for quite some time. It's going to go into a digital dollar because most people still will not have the education to understand that. As a matter of fact, before I dive into this story, I need to say that other channel, This Will Make You Rich, this morning just put out a video about how gold is influenced by rates. Please go and check that out. If you don't mind hashtagging in down here in the comment section, This Will Make You Rich, and hashtag This Will Make You Rich channel. The channel's blowing up. I thank you so much for that, because I'm going to bring a different level of education to the internet when it comes to finance. And the great news is you don't need a lot of education. I barely made it through high school. Good news, my bank account didn't care. And that it doesn't care about your education, financial education. You can start right now and you can become wealthy, wealthier than you've ever imagined. I am living proof of that. So it says here, the Fed just completely destroyed Wall Street. But I've told you this for a long time. They're going to stay higher for longer because they want a lot of people unemployed. They want people giving their homes back to banks, giving their cars back. And them and all their buddies are going to take advantage of this. And it's your job to take advantage of this time, not the banks. Says since the Fed's uber dovish last meeting on December 13th, the dollar is down, bonds and gold are up, and Bitcoin and big tech are surging. In other words, the QE trade or buy all things. You know, they came out and they said, we're going to pencil in. I said, get ready. This ain't going to happen like you think. This is them trying to build some euphoria in you. They're going to crush it down a little bit. And they're not going to do that little bit of a rate drop. It's going to be a little till right before the election. They're going to try and get you thinking that everything's good. And it's not. And then they're going to whipsaw this thing. The bullwhip. For lack of better terms, the bullwhip effect. And it's going to snap so many people out of left field. Matter of fact, there'll be people on this channel and the other channel, Economic Ninja, that won't even remember all the times I've told the plan to you. And they'll go, you were wrong. All right, whatever. I can't help everyone. It says here, while all yields are lower since the last FOMC meeting, the short end has dramatically outperformed. The curve has steepened dramatically with 2s and 30s, referring to bonds, swinging from negative 45 basis points to a positive 10 basis points since the last meeting. People are screaming and yelling. They're going, interest rates are down, mortgage rates, go buy a home. I'd be careful of that. Says, and finally, right in the middle of the Fed's meeting, the NYBC blows up, sending rate cut expectations soaring, putting the Fed in an awkward position. It's not an awkward position at all. This is all a planned event. Of likely having to push back against the bullying market. So what did and this is another thing I want people to understand. Right after the Fed said they're going to pencil in these three, and pencil means they can erase it. That's actually why they use it. These are wordsmiths. Let me grab a little coffee. People don't understand. These are very intelligent people. So we need to raise the bar for American financial intelligence. If you agree with me, type 1. It's nice to have hot coffee on a snowy day. Yeah, nobody's even been on this. So what did the Fed do and say? The FOMC voted unanimously. Stand by, I gotta make some footprints in this thing. The FOMC voted unanimously to leave benchmark rate unchanged. Well, go figure. As expected, in target range of between 5.25% and 5.5%, the fourth straight meeting, while making significant changes to statement. Weird. Now, here's the point I want to make, and I thank you to everybody that hits the resubscribe button. There's been some shenanigans going on. I know exactly what's going on, and I'm okay with it, but I want to wake up as many Americans as possible. I thank you for sticking with me. This is the statement. I've been telling you about a banking crisis that started, I told you before it started in not last November, but November before. I said it's not done yet. A lot of people say I'm doom and gloom. They're going to find out. So the statement was much more hawkish than expected. The Fed pushed back aggressively against the dovish market stance. The committee does not expect it will be appropriate to reduce the target rate until it has gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably towards 2%. That means they need more people fired, okay? Just like what UPS did the other day with 12,000 people getting laid off. The Fed did leave the door open for rate cuts at some point. I just want you to understand that's just normal logic. The Fed always lowers rates when GDP goes negative for the first time, knowing that it's not a fluke, that it's going to be negative the second quarter. It is historically accurate. This is how they do it every time. They always lower rates and they always look like the savior, but they're not. This is a planned event. It's so easy to figure out. It's crazy. The committee judges that the risks to achieving its employment and inflation goals are moving into better balance. The Fed removed any reference to tighter financial conditions. Now, let's go over this again. The Fed removed any reference to tighter financial conditions, which makes sense given that financial conditions have massively loosened. In what appears an implicit nod to animal spirits in the economy, the Fed removed any reference to growth slowing from its strong pace. Perhaps most notably, the Fed removed the following sentence from the statement. I want you to understand this. This is very, very serious. The U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. All right, please understand this. The Federal Reserve, the last time in its statement, said the U.S. banking system is sound and resilient. That was not true. The reason why they took it out is a sign to you. Now, I'm not telling you to get your money out of the bank. I'm not telling you to panic. What I'm telling you to do is be very cautiously aware of what's happening right now. These are gifts. These signs are gifts from God. I'm not joking. The market is about to make a big tumble going into the election. It already is. Real estate's already falling. Yeah, there's places where a bunch of, not even a bunch, a handful of crazy people that don't understand real estate cycles are diving in. But you know, as a real estate investor, I experienced that exact same thing in 2005, 2006, when I was selling my homes to them. Now, I want to wake up the entire world. And that's not being cocky. All of us have the exact same opportunities to do this. This is the time to be selling off stuff you don't need, making extra money, paying off debt, and getting out of debt. I've got a link down below, lowest price ever for the How to Start a Side Hustle course. And starting in the spring, I'm going to dive in with even more lessons. So once you get it, you're in for the $199. All the new lessons are free. But everywhere I go that people have taken that course, they're making an extra $10,000 up to 6 figures a year in their side hustles ever since I started that course. It's been amazing. I want you so prepared, it's insane. Now I got another story out of CNBC, because you see these Fed rates, and again, everybody that has the how to prepare for the real estate crash course, go and check out that video that I did, the lesson on the golden opportunity. It has to do with the gold to real estate ratio. My gold, since I got invested in gold, I think my first ounce of gold is like $1,400. Has it gone up a ton? No. On a percentage basis, I'm happy. I'm happy. I've got it vaulted. It's made me more dollars. At the same time, as real estate's peaked in June of 2022 nationwide, and it's coming down, my gold to real estate value is much more impressive, let's say, on a percentage basis. Because there's a day where I'm going to take that gold, and I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just telling you what I do. And I'm going to take that gold and I'm going to push it into real estate as down payments. I'm going to leverage. I'm going to use other people's money to leverage it, right? But I won't be over leveraged. I talk about de-risking all the time. So there's one way right now to get ready for this, because they want to squeeze. This is their plan. They are going to squeeze the American population. They're going to squeeze companies. They're going to cause more layoffs. They're going to cause you to lose your car. You know, yeah, it was your choice to get into $1,000 payment. And I could guarantee you probably, I'm not judging actually. I get so excited when I hear somebody on this channel say, yeah, I was one of those people. I got into over leverage and I'm done. I see the light. I'm paying off my debt, ninja, and we're going to crush it. That's even better than attracting people that have no debt or are wealthy. Quite frankly, those are the people I want to reach, right? Now, it's just a consequence that very influential, wealthy people follow these channels. And the reason why is because I've used humor to get a very serious topic, and they know the reality of what's going on, so they stick around. Check out this story out of CNBC. The Fed will cut rates fewer times and start them later than the market hopes, according to CNBC Fed survey. I've been saying this for like a year and a half. The market wants the heroin, but they can't simply look back on charts. This is what I teach in the real estate course and other courses. They can't look back on history and say, they've never done this before. But yet with simpletons, and I don't mean that as an insult to you, but most of the market is a bunch of simpletons because they weren't truthfully, honestly taught economics by design in school. Because the money changers, the Fed, don't want you knowing their plans. And they know, honestly, that you'll fill yourself with so much crap in life, like sports games, going out with friends, going watching movies, Netflixing, that you're never going to learn how the money system works. And they're going to sneak up every 7 to 10 years and smack you upside the face. That's why a bankruptcy cycle takes about that long to get it completely off the books. It's a long-standing plan. It says respondents to the CNBC Fed survey see fewer interest rate cuts than the market's aggressive outlook, with the central bank starting them later in the year than traders currently hope. Just 9% of the Federal Reserve cutting rates in March, just 9% see the Federal Reserve cutting rates in March, 50% see May, and only in June, there's a majority of 70%. So the reason why, and I've been telling you this, and the news comes out and it's just backing up what I've been telling you, and it's not because I'm a know-it-all. It's because I've studied aggressively since 10 to 2012, since that time frame, market cycles, because I was a part of 2 of them. And I actually felt like, oh, something ain't right, that gut feeling. So I sold all my stocks before the dot-com. I sold all my real estate before the real estate crash. Actually, I sold only 85% of the real estate. And those 3 properties about darn near took me out and put me into bankruptcy. I learned a lot of what to do, what I did right, learned a lot of what to do, what I did wrong. And I swore back then I would never, ever, ever be a victim of a cycle again. And I'm not going to be. And you're not going to be. As a matter of fact, let me say this. It's so important for you to speak it out loud. You're declaring things into the natural. Do you agree that your tongue is a two-edged sword? Type 2 if you agree with that. Type 3 if you're like, nah, it doesn't matter. I could say bad things about my situation and I'm going to be fine. The fact of the matter is, your tongue, the way you speak, is the direction you go. I'm looking. So it's important for you to say out loud and type it down. I'm going to be ready for this next market crash. even if it doesn't happen for a year or 2 years. I'm going to be ready for this next market crash. That's the one thing in life, when it comes to money, that you could be certain of. There is going to be a market crash. A broken clock is right twice a day. A lot of morons say that. They mock smart people. Those people that mock that phrase, that use that phrase to mock people that get ready, are always the ones that are in bankruptcy a few years later. I praise God every day that I had another year to prepare. I've been doing this since 2012, and it was supposed to go down in 2015. But again, this whole video is about rates, and you have to understand something. The reason why it was going down in 2015 to 2018 was because the Fed started tightening rates, tightening lending. And what happened was we got a wild president in 2016, didn't we? And so the Fed started raising rates to spite what was going on with the presidency. And they wanted to blame the president. The president at the time in 2018, this is great, came out in October of 2018 screaming. He said the Fed is trying to crash the markets. What most people didn't know back then, but I knew, was that our banks were tightening their lending. They weren't lending that much because people weren't borrowing, because as the interest rates went up, it was getting more and more expensive to buy cars, buy homes, things like that. He came out and he railed against the Federal Reserve, and he said, you lower rates right now. And guess what happened? In December of 2018, the Federal Reserve immediately stopped raising rates. Go back and look at a Fed rate chart. They're going tick, 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 stopped. And 1 month later, immediately started dropping them because they were ousted in a public forum. Now they're raising rates because what they did with shutting down the nation was cause a massive bubble. And that was planned. Type 4 if you agree with that. That was planned. Same thing with this. It's planned. But see, what they will always do is they will lower rates 1 quarter before the official recession is announced. Shoot, even the White House right now just changed the definition of recession. They're cooking books. You're going to find this out. I thank you to everyone that supports these videos by sharing them, because I want to wake as many Americans up, human beings. It doesn't matter whether you're in Canada, Germany, China. This is all the exact same economics. Everyone's going to crash. The governments want you to get into a CBDC. How do they do that? You already know it's out there. When I was first starting to warn about it 3 years ago, it was so foreign to people. Everyone knows it exists now. Well, they're going to make it to where you need it so bad, they're going to give it to you for free, like candy. They're going to go, here, everybody want 10 grand of the new central bank digital currency? Dopamine's going to fire off in your brains, and you're going to be running for it. And there's nothing wrong with taking it. It's not the mark of the beast yet. But I will tell you this. You know what's wrong? It's the greatest opportunity of your life. You should be taking it and be in a financial situation. You're like, hey, the ninja warned me about all this stuff. I got out of debt. I got gold. I got all this stuff. Here's the CBDC. I'm just going to go buy more gold. Everything's going to crap. And then I'm going to go buy some real estate with it. You'll be the 1%. As a matter of fact, if you own some gold right now, you own some silver, if you're getting out of debt or out of debt, you're already in the 1%. You're already there. Congratulate yourself. I'm not kidding. I'm not joking with you. This is exciting. This is the greatest opportunity of our lives. There's no doom and gloom here when you know what's coming. You see the train coming? Just get off the tracks. Your friends and family that don't listen to you, how many of them don't listen to you? Say mine don't. I'm just curious. How many of you have been out there warning your family and friends? They don't care. They don't want to listen. Good news. You and I, we're just alike. I lost a ton of friends in 2006 saying the real estate market was going to crash. This time is different because the people that think I'm crazy just haven't seen the channels, and then out of insecurity, they see the channel and they go, well, you must know something because a lot of people are following you. I'm like, no, that's not the case. There's just a lot of really smart people out in the world right now. That's why they're following. It's not, and they're not followers, as a matter of fact. I believe that every single one of you are actually leaders. Some of you don't understand it yet or don't believe it, but you're a leader because right now what you're doing is you're bucking the trend. You're going against what everybody else says. You're the fish running upstream when all of the other tools, I'm not joking, are running the other way. You are a leader. It's time to stand up and lead even more. How many of you agree that you are a leader? Type 10. And I only use the number 10 because you are a 10 in my book. This is the greatest time to be alive. There's no doom and gloom here. There's only preparation and getting ready. If any of you want to start a side hustle, you want a blueprint for it, I built a course. I've got it on the cheapest price I've ever sold it for. It's $199. I got the link down below. It supports me. I'm going to dive more into it because I'm getting so pumped every time I meet you guys and that have taken the course and you're making a ton of money. Like, freaking love it. I prayed over that course a long time ago and people's eyes would be opened, and it has been an amazing blessing. And this year, I'm going to dive into it because right now, our country's in such bad economic shape. 50% of the nation have a side hustle right now. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. 50% of the nation are getting 1099s this year, which means they have a side hustle at some point. Look at all the 10s right now. You are the elite, and they're running scared. Devil showed his hand last night to me too easy. I'm excited. I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for my future. And I believe that we are going to wake up so many human beings. Hey, I got to get going. There's a little bit of snow on the ground, and I'm going to try and get the skis out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hitting the resubscribe button on both channels. And oh, real quick, that video that somebody just put out on the internet, on that YouTube channel, it's called This Will Make You Rich, came out today. It's about how the interest rates affect gold prices. I think you may want to watch that. It may sort of steer you a good direction. Hope you got something out of all this. You guys are awesome. The Real Estate Ninja is out.